Restoring power means transportation services like Shinkansen again. So are streetcars in Sapporo, and the city's subway. Train services are still suspended. And with some international
it's hard to get reliable information in English about flights.
Safety in here, a lot all around. Yeah, some are true, some are false. Yeah, and we were so.
Officials attempted to help bridge up. Most of the South Korean tourists I spoke to are planning to fly back home tomorrow, but some are not so lucky. Some people here still do not have flights and the hotel, so they may need to stay here until getting back to
now region, of course, as they our media has the details.
Heavy rain into Saturday morning local time across Hokkaido. The massive earthquake on the ground and even landslide already occurred. Rainfall could saturate the ground. Vulnerable conditions to the area from move over Hokkaido. That time heavy rainfall with strong winds across the area as we go into Saturday morning, so that could heighten the risk for landslide. It's going to be cooling down into Sunday. 5 degrees near break. 20 degrees Sunday. Okay, rain will likely into Monday, and then on Tuesday we will see cooler temperatures. So we will likely see rain persisting into early next week, and also cool as we go into next week.
Tourism event in southern recovery in China. Extensive coverage to Thursday's powerful popular tourist destination for Chinese people.
I'm going to Hokkaido next month. My prayers are for the people of the Quake area. I hope they overcome their challenges.
Terminal 1 remains mostly closed. The
YouTube.
Morning.
YouTube.
The companies
was right.
Two-way traffic.
My peach light.
The island airport. It was badly damaged. The King of Thailand has honored the people of boys and their soccer coach from a flooded cave in the country's north. King Macron gave the award for significant voluntary activities on 100 people in and out involved. They included Thai Navy and the boys and their coach became stranded in the cave in June.
Mr. Hideki Furihata from Japan.
The recipients include 3 members of the Japan International Cooperation Agency. One of them, Hideki Furihata, provides technical guidance in rural parts of Thailand. During the operation, he proposed changing the course of streams flowing into the cave and pumping out water to help the dive. Furihata says he's glad his work has been acknowledged and wants to continue in says it did not influence earlier this week on 2 Reuters journalists. That's the first reaction from the government after the on charges of official secrets A government spokesperson says Myanmar is indicating a massacre of Rohingya Muslims in Rakhine State. The two and said they were ensnared in a police trap to stop Indonesia, the Jakarta of the press. On the Rohingya about a year ago. An estimated 1,000 people to neighboring Bangladesh. International courts said on Thursday it has the jurisdiction to examine the crimes against humanity, and it'll that the element of the crime place in Bangladesh, a member state of jurisdiction. After this question, the
continue to develop the country.
Last year, the Supreme Court dissolved the main opposition party, and it was left off the ballot in the general election. And that paved the way for Hun Sen's victory, and even his family's political influence is growing. His sons hold powerful positions either in the party or the government. The government granted pardons to a former lawmaker of the opposition party and some activists, but it's kept its leader Kem Sokha in custody for over a year. He was arrested on suspicion of treason last year. In other news, India's Supreme Court has ruled to abolish a provision in its criminal law which imposes punishments on people who engage in homosexual activity. Discrimination and prejudice are persistent against the LGBT community in India and neighboring states. The court delivered a ruling on Thursday over a law which made gay sex punishable by up to 12 years in prison. It was enacted in British colonial rule more than 150 years ago. The court said the penal provision has been used to harass the LGBT community. A group advocating for the rights of sexual minorities argued the law violates India's constitution, which guarantees the equality of all citizens.
It's amazing. It's just amazing. It's a very small move, but yet very, very fundamental.
We need to be who we are. We cannot be somebody else for the law. And we're finally free to be who we are in front of the law. And that's all we wanted.
Conservative Hindu and Muslim groups in India claim homosexuality disrupts traditional social order. Local media are carrying extensive reports about the Supreme Court ruling and presenting public opinions calling for a stop to discrimination and prejudice against sexual minorities. 2 North Korean spies are walking free after spending years in a Ukrainian prison. The pair was convicted of espionage after getting caught in a sting operation. Ryu Son-chol and Lee Tae-gil established contact with undercover Ukrainian officials in 2011. The two attempted to steal confidential files on engines used in intercontinental ballistic missiles. Both men were released this week. Ryu told NHK he planned to return to North Korea as quickly as possible. The North's missile technology has undergone rapid development in recent years. There are allegations it's acquiring its know-how from abroad. Last year, a U.S. expert published a report claiming Pyongyang acquired technology made at a Ukrainian factory on the black market. Ukraine's government has denied supplying any materials. The release of the spies comes amid a stalemate in denuclearization talks between the United States and the North. U.S. media reports suggest one of the holdups is believed to be over Washington's demand for Pyongyang to allow its nuclear and missile engineers to leave the country. Now, North Korea will celebrate the 70th anniversary of its founding on Sunday as it faces international pressure. One country maintaining ties with Pyongyang is China, and the leaders of the countries have met several times in recent months. But China is also being urged by the United States to observe sanctions. The contradictions are played out on the border.
This bridge connects the city of Dandong in northeastern China with North Korea. 70% of goods traded between the countries pass through the city. Dandong is experiencing a building boom. In the new high-rise buildings, the most sought-after condos are those offering views into North Korea. Real estate prices in the city biggest jumps in all of China.
I like the interiors and really love the views.
Investors are eager to further develop the border area. When the American and North Korean leaders met
Well,
in
this one is
June,
like 300.
Beijing said it was
What?
time to ease sanctions on Pyongyang. That fueled hopes that trade between China and North Korea would officially resume.
Opening the North Korean market is no longer just a dream, it's
I
about
don't
to be a
think you
reality.
need that. And you stay out of that.
North Korea opening its door to the outside world will be a great investment opportunity.
Goods are not the only thing crossing the border. China lifted restrictions placed last year on its citizens traveling to North Korea, and now tourists can be seen lining up at the border checkpoint, especially at the weekends. These tourists are a vital source of foreign currency for North Korea.
I brought back some cosmetics from North Korea. The relationship between China and North Korea is like one between friends. The people of our countries are bound by similarities.
Chinese consumers have developed a taste for North Korea. A recent trade affected companies from across the border.
Really well. We were requested by China to come to this trade fair and show we plan to come back in the future.
Oh my goodness.
Experts are actively wooing North Korean companies, so the momentum is there when official trade does restart. But there are obstacles in the way. A 3,000-meter bridge that will connect the countries remains unfinished. Another sign of the problems can be seen in this building, which was Tehran's facilities, but it seems to be abandoned. China wants to restore trade with North Korea. It does not want to become a target of criticism for taking advantage of loopholes in sanctions.
U.S. employment growth exceeded market expectations, leading many to believe the Federal Reserve will raise its key interest rate this month. Non-farm payrolls increased by 201,000 from the previous month. Analysts were expecting growth of about 195,000. The unemployment rate for August, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell indicated his intention to continue interest rates. Ballooning Social Security costs have pushed requests for Japan's government budget in fiscal 2019 to a record high. The Finance Ministry says ministries and agencies are seeking a total of about $930 billion. The Health and Welfare Ministry increased its request due to rising costs for Social Security as the country's population ages. The ministry wants funds for medical